Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and today's victim is going to be this 1986 Johnson 10 horsepower outboard motor. I have never worked on an outboard motor before, and up until recently I've never even had a boat. So this is my first attempt at a little two-stroke 10 horse. So what do you say we don't waste no more time and we get right into her. And so I think what I'd like to do is, what do you say we go ahead, pull the spark plugs out, see if we have spark, and I wouldn't mind sticking a endoscope down in there just to see what the cylinder walls look like, see if the cross hatching's in it. So let's get you set up in a stand and we'll jump right into it. All right, let's get the plugs out, take a look at them. Now this is a four-stroke engine, and it doesn't have valves in it. It has ports actually, and where you also have a standard four-stroke, you'll have oil down in the crankcase. This actually uses the fuel, the mixture, to oil the needle bearings down in there. And I guess that don't look too bad, but I guess that also depends on, that can change by how much you mix your fuel, if it's a 40 to 1, 50 to 1, and I honestly have no idea what the fuel ratio should be on this. I just don't know. Like I said, never owned a boat before, so learning experience. And hopefully it works. It'd be nice. Alrighty. So let's stick a plug in the bottom one and see if we have spark. Yes, I see spark. That's good. And we'll try the top, make sure both coils are working. This one wants to play nice. Doesn't seem to want to play nice. See if we can get a spark. I can't see. I cannot see. Maybe if we turn it that way. Yeah. Alright, good. We got spark on both of them. And that plug, they don't look bad at all. I don't think they do. So we got spark. Let's I'm gonna put that endoscope down in there. And in we go. Alright, so this cylinder is all the way down, and I can actually see what I believe that's the exhaust port right there. Yeah, that's the exhaust port we're looking at right there. That's the top of the piston. And as these engines, the two-stroke engines, they are exactly that, two-stroke. So every time the piston comes up, it fires, and every time it's on its way down, it'll have the exhaust, and then on the way up, it'll have its intake open up. But they're done by ports. There's no valves in them. I wish I had the other endoscope thing, because I think it's an endoscope, right? Isn't that what they call this thing? They have a newer model out, I guess, that you can actually turn the head on it side to side and get a better look inside, as to where this one is just fixed. But either way, it actually looks pretty good. And let's go check the bottom. The bottom one's piston's up, so I'll just rotate. I guess that's just a little dirt up there. There's your exhaust. It does come up that past that. So that must just be a little dirt on there, I think. I hope that's all it is. So this would be all the way, okay, so it's a two-stroke like I was saying. So you're all the way down. Your exhaust is out. Now we can't see the intake. There's a bypass that should be opened up right about the same time there. And the shape of that piston actually throws that charge upward and then closes off your exhaust. You got your fresh charge in, fires, and at the same time this is coming up, it's drawing a new charge into the bottom of the crankcase, and that premixed oil is actually what oils the needle bearings in the crank. And then as it comes back down, you have your spark ignition. As it comes back down, now it's pressurizing the lower crankcase, and it's going to throw it all through a bypass on the other side that is not in view, the fresh charge from down below. So every time this piston comes up, it fires. It's what I call a two-stroke. Everything happens in 2 strokes instead of 4. But everything in there looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. So I say maybe we try hooking up a little fuel, see if it starts. What do you think? With that all said, I say we put a little fuel in there, stick the plugs back in, and see if we can get a... Uh-oh. I just put my air tour oil in there. I don't think that's going to fire off of that. Guess I better mark them a little better, huh? Well, I guess it's well lubed now. Alright, now that I got the bottle with the premix in it and not the air tool oil, we'll give it a try. And hopefully it will fire, being as I put it in that oil. Hope that doesn't cause a problem. But we'll roll these on in. And hopefully she'll fire right up. Get her started. It doesn't seem to want to play nicely right now, does it? There, we got her started. That's good. Throw the plugs on. And crank her this way a little bit. I don't know if that prop's on or not, but see what we get. Good, it runs. Now, before anybody starts to holler at me about the impeller down there, I plan on putting a new one in. That's why I wasn't worried about it. That's good. We know it's going to run, and hopefully that carb is okay. I don't have to do anything with it. I don't know for sure that we actually hook a fuel line up to it, but before we do that, I want to get the water and everything hooked up on it. But I think the next thing I'm going to do, and I probably should have done it first before I started it, is go ahead and get the bird seed all out of here. The only thing I could think of is that he had it stored in the garage, and there must at some point been some bird seed or something sitting up there above it somehow. Maybe it wasn't latched, the cow on it, I don't know. But she got bird seed in it. Alright, for one, I do need to replace the impeller, so I think that's the next thing we're going to tackle. But in addition to that, this is a long shaft, and I had purchased a low 1448M with a modified bow back in March, which I only have a trolling motor on it, and that's the reason I want this here. But it requires a short shaft, so what I need to do is go ahead and remove this center section here, which should bring me down to a short shaft. Now, I've never done this before, as I mentioned, never worked on a boat motor, but I did buy a couple parts, so let's just dig in and see if we can get this accomplished. And hopefully, you know, my biggest fear is being this is See, she wants to roll on me. You know, you have aluminum and steel bolts. I'm a little concerned that I might have an issue with it. Getting these bolts out. I hope not. But we'll see. Well, that one seems to be good. But I will say the bolts kind of actually look a little new, so. And I got this on a little bit of an angle, which is not ideal. I would like to bring it down enough. I think I might be in the right spot. Yeah. And I'll leave that bolt in there right now. So if we look right, get you up here so you can see it. Stop bouncing around. Right there, that screw. I got to remove it. Sorry. Good. Come new. No, I think I just slipped off. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a bigger screwdriver, bigger bladed. All right. That should allow me to get onto that. Little baffle plate. Yeah, feels like make sure there wasn't a nut on the other side. Alright, and I should be able to pull this straight out and down. Of course, my needle nose are on the other side. I can get a hold of it. There we go. Was that far enough? Good. I'm going to lay this over on the operating table. Alright, yeah, I got to flip it around. I'll need to take these bolts out the rest of the way on both sides and pull this section out. Oops, sorry. Flipped over here. Good. The bolts are out. And this should just slide. I'll back you up a little bit, and this should slide right on out. Good. Good. Guess that was just a plastic spacer, I guess. Okay, so our water pump is going to be under here. And I am going to go ahead. I think I got to take this apart anyway, because in this package should be the shorter shaft, which I think comes down here farther, so it's probably about like that there. So that's got to change this shaft out, and also have the shifting rod, which should be shorter too. So that's good, if it's the right one. But I'm not sure how to get that out. I might actually have to look that up because this passes through. So I may actually have to take off the prop and do it from the inside. I'm just not sure how to do that. But there's one way to find out, huh? In the meantime, we'll go ahead and we'll get the water pump off. Except I need to put it on loosen. Alright, pull them all out. And this, I believe, should pull straight out. And it does. And down in there, oh, I would say she needed a water pump. Completely destroyed. Look at that. There's my little pin I need to keep. Sets in there. Yeah, that's a good thing. Now I'm not 100% sure how to get this shifting rod out. I was trying to look it up. Most of them are showing that it is, yeah, the extra bolts here lift the whole thing out. I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to pull the prop off and do it that way somehow. So, bend his cotter pin back. You see that nut isn't even tight. Push it in there. Get her out. Now, that ain't even tight, so that might just come right off. There. Looks like there's a washer. See if this prop, yeah, whole prop comes right off. Good. Yes. Yeah, it's starting to turn a little bit. Yeah, it's coming out. Looks like she's coming out. Give her little love taps. Flip it over. Oh yeah. Think I should have drained the oil? Probably should have. There we go. supposed to be pieces in there like that. There's some metal pieces. It just came apart in there. Guess I better get my oil pan out. Dump the rest out. I think that's original oil. It smells burnt. You know what? Took it apart for nothing. It unscrews. Why didn't you tell me it unscrews? Guess if I looked at the new part, I would have known it too, huh? That's alright. Get everything cleaned out. Sometimes you just don't think. If I would have looked at the new rod and saw the ends were threaded, that probably would have saved a lot of headache. Look at that. All I had to do. So, old shift rod, new shift rod. It's approximately 5 inches or so when you thread it in. Alright, so since I'm this far into it, I've decided I'm going to go ahead and replace the seals for the drive shaft and where the impeller goes through, because when I looked down here initially, I had seen oil down in there, and really there should not be water down there because the shaft seals here and this piece seals here, so there's really no path for oil to get in there. So apparently from setting for however long this thing's been setting, oil did seep by, so we're going to go ahead and just change them out. As far as the shift rod seal, when I put the shift rod in there, it feels like it has good contact with it, so I'm not going to mess with it. And looking online into doing that, you know, there's a special tool for this type because you can't take the bottom scag off down here, and I'm just not going to mess with it. It looks like more pain, and I don't think that's going to leak. So let's get set up and we'll go ahead and change these seals out. So this is just a cheap blind hole puller, and to be honest with you, I'm not too thrilled about it, the way it's going to work. And there's a little bit of a setup to it. Now again, this has, from what I understand, 2 seals down here. I know one's already loose. That one's already loose. There should be another one, and it looks torn. And there's a bearing down there. I don't want to get into that bearing either. And I don't want to be in that bearing because I don't want to pull the bearing or damage the bearing, but I'm not sure how far down. I think we're all right here. I like to see the bearing, so I think we should be all right here as long as this will expand enough. And just a cheap, we'll see if this works. Well, that didn't work. This puller ain't that good.
And broke my wedge. Better than breaking the housing. Yeah. Get there we go. About time. Second seal out. Alright, so to install these two, I'm just going to use a socket to drive these in. And it looks like a 7/8 is going to do probably my best job. Yeah. So I'm going to run a little bit of Permatex gasket sealer around the outside of this. And better make sure I got this going the right way, huh? This one should go down. Messy stuff. Yeah, I don't know if there's such thing as a thin coat. Keep it off my fingers. And hopefully alright, there's one. This one will go this way. This Permatex just because of all that corrosion. Yeah, that one went that way, so this one goes this way. And this socket meets up pretty well on the outside of that. But the concern is that one was loose. This might have to go down a little bit farther. Without driving it too far. This is where you're supposed to have that right tool, but I don't have it. Probably isn't the best thing to be using. Get that lip down below that water port right there. That should be good. And the one thing I did notice, Well, I didn't show it, but that line right there on that socket pretty much is right where it was at. And there is room in there, so it looks to me that as long as that passage isn't blocked at all, it's way away from the bearing down there, so we should be good with that. And then I'll just put a little lube in there before we install the shaft. And to get these out, it looks like I should be able just to drive it out through this other side here. And we'll give it a try just to make sure I'm not on the bearing. Yeah, it looks like it might be coming out. Yeah, there's half of it. Yep, she came out. Alright, so that's that. Came out that way. And that's how they came out. And to install these seals, we're just going to do the same thing we did on the other ones. And this tacky stuff right here. I use more on the other one than I want to, but really not much I can do about it. First one set in. All right, major problem. I just figured out I did something wrong. It's going to cost me a little money. I was not paying attention to the inside diameter, and these are actually for the drive shaft. Yeah, I might be all right. Hold on. I don't think so. Screwed up. Outside diameters the same, inside diameters are different. The inside diameter in this one is for the output shaft that belong here. This belongs here for the drive shaft. Back to back, yeah. I can just forget about trying to. You know what? The larger seal puller might work on that. Well, Nelly. What do you think about that? Sorry. Don't get too far on that bearing either. No. No. I just created myself more problems. Accidentally chipped it. She ain't no good. She ain't no good. So I was trying to lay that steel plate across there to prevent that from happening. I guess I got it back too far. But with that, it's just done. All that water, or will it? Yeah, it will, because all this has to seal. Because this is picks up your water, come through here up the pump, but now it's going to squirt right here and into my oil.
All right, quite some time has gone by since that last little clip you watched of me destroying the lower unit on this, the housing. I chipped it right here. I did try to fix it using some of this Blue Demon aluminum welding rod. It's not really welding, it's more like a brazing. You heat the casting up on it, melt this in, and the intent was to file it down, and that part worked to an extent, but then when I went to file it down, it just broke off. I also even tried to use a little bit of JB Weld. That didn't stick. So I guess if you had a TIG welder and you knew what you was doing, you could fill it up. But unfortunately, that's beyond me. I don't have that equipment or that skill. So pretty much this is complete junk. So what I did is I went out on eBay and purchased, let's see if I can go without dropping it here, and purchased a used lower unit, complete, just need the prop on it, that's all. And the only thing I'm going to do with this, I'm not going to bother changing seals in it. It is what it is. If it leaks water into the oil, which I don't think it will, according to what my understanding of it, but the only thing I am going to do is change the water pump that is in it. So hopefully this will work out good for me. It's already set up for a short shaft. It's a 15 inch. What is it? 15 inch, I think, on the short shaft. Long shaft is 20 inch, I think. That's the spacer in there. Makes the difference up. So let's get started changing out this water pump, get her hooked up to the engine, and see how it works. So I'm just going to remove these 4 screws. And before I pull this off, I think this is just grease on here, old grease or something. Not quite sure, but it does clean up. Maybe more like a putty. Well, I'll get that cleaned up before I take the old one out. So I'll go ahead and just hold the shaft down in position. Try to bring this up. And I know there's that pin down there. Get that past it. There we go. That's going to keep me from getting this up over it. Maybe I'll clean some of it off. And then I'll clean the rest up once I get this off. There we go. I'm curious as to what that is. A little pin. So right down there. That's all that is. That just kind of lines up. Where you at? A little slot right here. Keeps it so it'll turn. And there should be a new one in the kit. So now with the new kit, it should have instructions. And what's in here? Oh, got some nuts and bolts. Pin, seal, and the O-ring for the top of the shaft. Then we have the housing, water pump, little lubricant, and that I believe goes inside the housing like that. And okay, that's the seal for that. And then there's a new plate, and then you have your choice of these. So the old one looks like it's this one here. So that should be it for the old one. See if we can pop it out just to verify it, make sure it is, which I'm 90% sure. Has those little tabs stick through here. There's a bunch of gunk on that. Okay, so that is the one we need. These two can go back in the box and put that with the old stuff. All right, so how'd that go on? If I remember right, it only went on one way anyway. I guess I better get these tissues out. I put in there while I was cleaning. Might be a good move to get them out of the way, huh? So that plate goes just like that. I'm going to put a dab of grease right there. Hopefully that ain't too much. The rest of it I think I'll just wipe on the impeller. Kind of lubricate that when I stick it in and get it off my fingers. There, I'll set that aside. And now the new pin will fit right in there, I think. Yeah. There. Alright, now I have this here seal that I need to get in. And it might not be too bad. Hope it ain't. I'll say it's a little overkill for the job, but and that looks to be good. I like it. So now I'll take the new impeller. No, not impeller. Whatever it is. Water pump. And that's got to line up with that little pin. So I'll slide her on down. Over top. Line it up. Good. Got it. Take the water pump housing. Fit her over the shaft. And then I'm going to turn this counterclockwise. And that should seat all that the right way. Good. Now I get 4 brand new screws. And I'm going to call that one good. Then I'm just going to pop in the little tube for the water pump. I'm sorry, the pickup hose. Probably ought to put a little grease or something on that too. Oh, before I forget, let's get that on there. I might throw a little grease on that. Get it to come up here. And I'm just going to rub that, keep that from going on dry. Make it a little easier to go in, hopefully. A little bit in there. Oh, got to put the O-ring up on the top. There we go. Rub a little grease around that. Around the splines. And give her a little coating, I guess. Ain't gonna hurt nothing, huh? I don't know. Maybe this is what I was peeling off the last time. I don't know. Really don't know. Alright. So that is ready to go back in. But before I do, there's one more thing I have to do on the other unit, the other part. So I think I am going to go ahead and cut this to about here. So I'm not fighting that the whole time. Does that look good? Looks good enough. Just hold in long enough, get this done. There we go. And I'll clean this edge up again. Get any burrs off of it. All right, and now it's time to get you a new battery. Just saying. I don't know. Oh. All right, so I took a little rod because I'm thinking this goes all the way through. All right, where the water tube goes in. Yeah. So now that makes a little more sense. So if this mates flush, wouldn't that mean it has to go up in there farther? That's why I'm taking it, and I can't get my cutter up there. What are you looking at? There we go. So if the base sets flush with this, that means that plate it hits is flush with this. So this has to be cut above it. My cutter won't go in there. So you're getting ready to die. You're at 9%. So I want to turn the camera off, trim this up, and go from there. All right, so I measured off with some calipers the depth of the tube, where the tube sets in, into here. So I made a mark, and I'm just going to take my dry grinder, because I can't get in there with anything else, and just cut that tube. There's a little bit in my way. Well, might need a bigger wheel on the die grinder. I'm gonna have to clean all that out too. There we go. Let me just clean them edges up. That thing keeps falling. Oops. There we go. Time to get a bolt started here. Hold everything in place. All right, just going to run around real quick, make sure they're all tightened up. I don't know what the torque spec is, but it is aluminum, 1/4 inch bolt, so it can't be that much. Because you put too much force on aluminum, you're going to pull the threads right out of it. And I'm going to call that good. So the next thing we're going to have to do is get the prop on it. This little piece. Then the prop. I don't know, I guess this is a damper or something, I don't really know, but according to the sheet over there that I printed out, it goes on next. And followed by torquing it down to 55 foot-pounds. But it's also a castle nut. It's a castle nut where you put a cotter pin in it, so if it doesn't line up, you're going to have to back it off anyway. So I don't know for sure if that's correct or not. About time. I would say sometimes the simplest things give you the most trouble, but I've had a lot of problems out of cotter pins in the years. Oh, good enough. That's not coming out. So you know what this means now, right?
Oh yeah. I know what you were
No, don't just leave that loose, that's fine.
Alright, let's drop her. I can jump on the dock in a minute. That's what I got water shoes for, Gare. Just don't run me over. Nah. Nah. She is now. I was like, man, what happens if the rope breaks?
That ain't a good thing. That is not a good thing.
When he's done that well, there, pulling a china cabinet.
Yeah, right. And my shoes are gonna fall off.
I swear to God, if you fall in.
You gonna laugh at me?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna laugh.
Oh, thanks, buddy. There goes my waters. Did you bring something to drink?
Cause you know, oh yeah, I got a little bottle up here. Cause you know you'd be laughing at me if I fell in.
Oh, you know it.
For a key, I'm like, you know what, just in case.
I didn't grab my charging cord for that battery. Wanna hop in?
Yeah, let me give you the rope. Here we go, this is where I fall in. Look at that, see?
You go swimming.
Oh, your boat's hot.
In this one bag I have oh, some held there till we got the motor started.
Maybe. Look at that. Started on the second pool there. Oh yeah. Looking for a fishing pole.
Should have. Seems to be running a little rough. But they're cold too, so.
What's that?
It's cold too.
Yeah. Important thing is I have no idea how deep it is out here.
Very deep. Oh, you know, speaking of that, hand me my life jacket.
You can't swim?
No.
Actually, I'm gonna put mine over me too. Just in case. You're liable to hit that old dam and flip us over. I was looking. That sign that's right there at the ramp says if you don't have a fishing license, a hunting license, trapping license, or a boat ramp permit, guess what the fine is?
How much?
$1,400.
I put the permit, the fishing one in the window, copy of it.
Yeah, well, you're good then. And it actually says any vessel, so I think even a kayak you need it.
Might do.
That's ridiculous, man. I never heard of that.
Yeah, for kayak.
For a kayak.
I'll get out here a little bit, then we'll go do a speed test.
How about that? Sure, I'll leave it on site.
Tell them we're out here picking up now. Boat's staying dry.
Good thing.
I said it's dry back here, it ain't getting wet.
That's good.
This is a little.
It's a little shallow there at least. I would go more this way. The little island comes out this way.
Yeah.
Probably a lot deeper than it looks.
Yeah, you see the bob right there.
As long as you ain't picking up sand or mud, it ain't that shallow.
Nah, not too bad. I got a short shaft on it now too, so.
You know, it's deep.
figure out this
Depth finder?
garment, yeah.
Tell you what, imagine having one of the properties with beach on here.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's saying I'm doing 1.9 right now, but that can't be right.
That might be. Look at the wind. We are moving a bit.
The wind blowing us.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we'll say we're doing 2. Hold on.
Hold. Back.
10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17, 6, 17, 9, 18, 18, 1, 2, 18, 3. It looks like we're right around 18 to 18, 3. It's bouncing back and forth. We'll turn it around the other way, see what it does.
I bet you we don't get above 16.
Yeah, take that two and a half miles an hour off, yeah.
Straight on.
All right, here we go. Seems like it's getting rougher. 9, 10. Yes, he's bouncing this way. 11, 12. Yeah, you can feel the wind on you. We're at like 12.2, 12.4. I don't think we're going to get, well, 12.6. We're not even going to get 16. Got 13.4. 14.5. I've seen a 14.6, that's the top. That 14.9, 15. 15.2. Seen a 15.7, then it bounced back. 16. It hit 16 briefly, now we're 15.7. We're actually slowing down a little bit now. Yeah, we're down to 14.9. We'll head on back to the dock. I got some mowing I got to get done too.
Whoa. Crazy drunk driver. Just being the first time I talked to my brother's boat. I ran right into the dock.
That wind's blowing her pretty good.
Oh, you ain't kidding.
Just wrap back around that front cleat and then around his back.
Squeak, squeak. Be careful.
Why'd you have to tell me to be careful? My shoe fell off. That's what caught, was the shoe.
Oh, Gary!
The shoe fell off and caught it.
Oh, why couldn't we get that on camera?
Because the camera's facing the wrong way. Am I off?
Hey, you're off.
I caught the breeze. Can you hook it? Hook it to that Stratton wrapper.
You're a little crooked, too.
Oh, I'll straighten that out when I get up there.
Over or under there?
Just underneath's fine. As long as it's on it, go underneath.
You're crooked.
Crooked?
Oh, yeah.
That's all right. Drive me up a little bit.
Oh, you trust me?
Yep, put your foot on the brake, start giving it gas.
You got the parking brake on?
No,
Emergency brake, I mean?
no.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, he made me fall once. I blame him.
Ain't my fault.
Turn that switch off for the finder. There we go. Oh, that was fun, Roomy Doomy. Motor worked out good.